Welcome to Coach's Corner, everybody. Thanks for watching the show. I'm your host, Coach Tripp. Of course, this is the four-wheel drive show segment with Blaze Winter to my left and Billy Pendock, my high school teammate, below. Syracuse greats on that early 1980s line. Also, you have Timmy Green right there and Jamie Kimmel, the other half of four-wheel drive. Shout out to those guys. I know Timmy's podcast is going well. Son Troy moderates it. But this show is brought to you by Sandy Sanson Chevrolet. I'll see Brad Bowes over there. Tell him Coach Tripp sent you. Guys, interesting subject today. NIL. None of us heard of NIL 3-4 years ago. And then all of a sudden, it's Katie bar the door. Let the rabbit out of the hat, whatever you want to say, man. It's confusing. I read an article where Tennessee just got $100 million 10-year deal. I heard Alabama is working on a deal. They've always been with Nike. Alabama's wide receiver, Ryan Williams, is the only player that I know that has a deal with Nike right now, but all that is changing. All that's just happening so fast. Billy, we were talking about it. Blaze, we were talking about it before we come on the air. And Billy had a conversation with Syracuse head coach Frank Brown about the NIL deal. And Billy, what was that? What was that meeting with Coach Brown?
Well, he kind of laid it out as far as, and again, I don't know how much is true and how much isn't, but he kind of laid it out to the fact that when you start out with your whole roster, you're looking at anywhere from 95 to 120 guys on your roster. That includes walk-ons, scholarship guys, everybody. He talked about a percentage of that NIL money gets distributed to each guy that is on the team. It could be $100, it could be $500, $1,000, whatever the number is irrelevant. But everybody that has a uniform that makes that team gets a percentage. From there, it goes to maybe the 90 scholarship players or 85 scholarship players. They get another percentage. Then from there, it goes to your travel team. Those guys get another percentage. From there, it drops down to your top 22 starters on offense, defense, special teams, and they could receive another percentage. Now the numbers I don't know about, as far as what they are, but after that 22, you take your blue chip players, your guys like your standout guys, like the guys you talk about, your 4 or 5 guys on each team that are your stars, more or less. And now we're talking in the hundreds of thousands to the millions of dollars. So that's how it's kind of distributed as way I perceived it from how he talked. Now, again, the numbers can be off the charts as far as these kids go. And he was telling us this because if you don't have an alumni base that's donating to the football fund, now this is not Syracuse University fund, this is a football designated fund that goes to football only, and you're talking about massive amounts of money. Now
millions a year now. Many millions.
Billion. Now again, when you look at the scope and the way things are in the United States and these teams, you look at how many millionaires per capita does each university have in their alumni program. You look at a place like SMU, the oil money is incredible out there. So these teams are starting to rise to the top because it's about who can put up the most money to buy the most players. That's kind of what it's coming down.
Oh gosh, Blaze, the implications are just the negative implications are numerous. Talk about that.
Oh my God. First of all, you're talking about people 17, 18, 19 years old.
Right.
I don't know about you, Billy or Trip. I mean, I didn't know how to handle $20.
Right.
I went out and bought soda candy. I mean, I didn't know how to handle any money. I didn't know how to handle money until I was in my 30s.
Right.
I mean, I came out in the NFL, and by the time I was in my 4th year, I was broke because the attorneys that I signed, which all these players now have attorneys, agents, stole almost all my money. I won't mention names, but there was a pipeline to Syracuse players. Billy, you know what I'm talking about. They went after you also. And those greedy sons of bitches eventually, in their limited partnership and their construction deals, had 20-something high-end players, and the money was gone. And I didn't know anything about it. Even my father was confused about, what do you mean you're broke? Dad, I went to the bank. There's no more money left. I called my agents. Oh, it'll be all right. Don't worry about it. We have control of it. It'll be back in your account soon. Now, that's the truest phase of my life. Going back to NIL, these are kids, man. I mean, even their parents at times don't know how to handle millions of dollars. And on top of that, there's these bidding wars, and players are they're changing like the high tide, low tide. I mean, and I don't mean Alabama. I'm talking about, man, the ebb and flow of the water. Hey, I'm going to go here. Why? They're giving me more merchandise. Or I'm going to go here. They're giving me more money. This is to a coach that is 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old. Fine. You're making millions. You know what you're doing in most cases. But to a 17, 18, 19-year-old young man, what the? I mean, it's going to lead to issues.
Yes.
More and more as we move forward.
Yes, these issues. Yes, I'm glad you brought that up, Blaze. It's moving to the issues of, number one, there's a difference in compensation, and there's going to be arguments between assistant coaches, head coaches, players, everybody on that discrepancy. Two, it leads to greed. Okay, greed. People. Then you're letting greed into the locker room. Number three, it leads to complacency. I know I'm not saying this happens to this person, but this is an example of what could happen. And I don't know if it even is. The quarterback at the University of Florida is getting like $5 million. He bought this mansion where all his family lives in the, and the head coach is tying his career to one player that, is maybe not be playing that well. The University of Florida is going to have their coach fired probably by the end of the year. Their schedule's too brutal for them to make it. Number three, it's jealousy in the locker room. Okay, you got one kid. Now, I could handle when I was a walk-on and scholarship players in my position that were ahead of me, that I knew I was better and everybody else knew I was better than. Yeah, I had to deal with it. It wasn't easy. It wasn't fun. But let me tell you, if it's big money, yeah, that might even be more of an issue with the backup who's better than the one who's getting $800,000. Number three, there's injustice. And then that leads to the injustice on the team. And then you have players feeling like there's too much injustice.
And Trip and Billy, what did we learn from George O'Leary? One of the greatest coaches of all time. What did we learn? Number one, when we became four-wheel drive. 4 wheels, not 3, not 2, not 1. 4-wheel drive, because of the word that was pointed out by him in meetings and on the field and in private. Loyalty. Where's your loyalty? There is no loyalty in pro football. There is no now loyalty in college football. It is an I game. I'm making what I can. I'm moving on, just like what we saw coaches do for years. Now 18-year-olds are saying, I'm going to go next year here. They appreciate me there, and they don't know because it's the same business. The business is rooted in you better win, motherfucker. You better win. Otherwise, we're all going to be sent down the highway, and loyalty is what created the four-wheel drive, right, Billy?
That's it. You'll never see that again. And Trip and Blaze, my biggest takeaway from this, and what I discussed this with Brad Brown, and I talked to some of the guys. My biggest problem is, okay, these kids making whatever money they want to make, but my biggest problem is, what are you teaching 17, 18, 19-year-old kids? You're teaching them that there's no loyalty, there's no, you're not committed to nothing.
Grab it and run.
So society, you look at our society now, and the hell with football. The hell with football. Football is this big compared to our society, where it's going. This is what we're teaching our young men: is it's okay to take $1 million from Paul Tripoli's business, and I'll leave next year and go to Blaze Winter's business. Right. But then the next year I'll say, screw Blaze Winter. I'm going to go back to Paul Tripoli and take my old job back because he's going to pay me more money.
That's happening, Billy. It's happening everywhere.
Listen, think about this, both you guys. I'm going to ask you a question. We all grew up and you had a job. What job would you leave and tell your boss to go fuck himself and come back the year after that?
No.
Would you have the balls to come back to that job after you left that job?
No.
Yeah.
No, man.
The kicker is, Paulie, the kicker is, and you look at Syracuse, has got a couple of them. They left and came back, and you know how they rewarded these kids for leaving and coming back? They're starting them on the field. They're giving them starting positions.
Very true. Well said, Billy. That is well said. And the other part of this, is simply, you're not all Clemson. You're not all Alabama. Syracuse is not going to be able to handle financially the weight or that type of player. They're not going to sustain W's by going after these players that are already, after 3 days, looking for a way out of Syracuse. Syracuse is built on Billy Pendocks, Blaze Winters, Jamie Kimmels, Tim Greaves, and the mean ugliness of, hey, man, this is trench football, and we have to play it, inside out. Inside out football is what Syracuse can win with, not high-end Ohio State offense.
Paulie, think about this. We all been there. Now, me and Blaze have been there. I signed a letter of intent when I was 17 years old or 18 years old. And there was the days when you wanted to transfer. There was those days when you said, there's got to be greener grass somewhere else. My old man said to me, you made a commitment to that school. You made a commitment to that school. You are not even thinking about going somewhere else. And that's how integrity and loyalty was back when we came out of high school. Not anymore.
You're losing the lessons. You're losing the lessons. I mean, I everything I've got, and I'm so blessed and grateful for everything. Believe me, I've got a lot in my life. I've been given a lot. Football's given me much more than I tried to give back from coaching. But if I was at Alabama and not playing for 3 years, and knowing everybody knowing that I could play, you don't think I would have transferred out of there? I'm so grateful I didn't. I'm grateful I learned the lessons of perseverance and hard work and waiting my time. And then when I did get my scholarship and I did get the starting job, it meant so much more than jumping to Billy Bob University or somewhere else where I thought I should be playing.
Hey, Trip and Billy, let me flip for just a minute. Right down the hallway, visiting my wife and I's my oldest son, Cordell. He's a international act. travels all over the world as a singer-songwriter, and he's gone through the same problem with bands. The same thing. You know what he says to me? There's no loyalty, man. If I'm not paying them enough money, giving them enough glory, bye-bye. We'll go play for what? Somebody else. And it's the same problem magnetized in a lot of different professions besides football. I know because I hear from who am I going to find to play guitar? What happened to the great one you had? Well, he's not loyal to me anymore. He's committed to what? This or that. Nashville is creating the same problem in the music industry. It's the same as problem, man. Hey, what's greater on the other side rather than pay your motherfucking dues, and maybe in the long run you won't have much time to bitch because you'll be playing your instrument somewhere at 30, 40 years old. My son's man? He's been playing since he was 9, and he keeps on going through these people trying to teach them. Great coaches try to teach their players, hey, man, right from wrong. And eventually what? Well, Dad, I'm going to move on because some people just don't get it. And they don't get it because they hear it 24/7, grab it and run, grab it and run. They don't care about you. It's always about one versus the other. One versus the other. I'm telling you, man, it's so frustrating because the foundation of George O'Leary and the four-wheel drive is rooted in, hey, your behavior, your thought process about the other player, about not just yourself. Oh, man, it's so frustrating.
Now, Paulie, we talked about the players. Now, what about the coaches? The coaches, how can you coach in this environment today? How can you coach a kid that's a sophomore when you know damn well he's not going to be there next year? There's probably a 40% chance he's going to get a better offer at another school. How do you coach that?
Hey, Trip, before you answer, here's a scenario. A player runs over to a LSU coach. You know the head man. We all know the head man. The head man chews your ass out. And you don't think in that moment that player isn't saying, I'm out of here. Screw him. I'm out of here. I don't need this crap. Rather than, man, I better pull my ass together, man. I'm never going to have a shot at hell.
Right. Yes, that's what it leads to. It leads to more narcissists in this world because they can do no wrong. It leads to no empathy from anybody else. You have to self-assess yourself. What are you doing wrong? I had to do it. I had to do it in Alabama. My first wife, she woke me up one day. I was blaming other people, blaming coaches and, whatever systems or, times, or I was a Yankee or, whatever. I was blaming other things. She had me self-assess myself. And that's what we're going to be missing more and more is people taking accountability for their own actions. When a coach gets on you, you can't run and hide and cry and piss and moan and blame and point fingers and all this negative stuff. And that's what selfishness does. That's what this money is doing. It's tearing some programs apart. There's a separation. Everybody's seeing it now. I tell you what, my brother Scott told me this 8-10 years ago. A hockey player, played college hockey. He told me there's going to be 2 power conferences in 10 years. And I looked at him like he was crazy. Okay. But people, some people have a foresight like that. Okay. Bobby Bowden came on my show and said, UWF will be a great program, football program. They'll win a national championship. They might go Division I one day. Well, I was looking at him like, Coach, really? What? Wow, that's optimistic, right? No. They just had foresight and they had the positive thinking, and that's what's deteriorating in this country. And it started in the 80s. Coach Bryant, I'm telling you what, I remember Coach Bryant's words, man. He used to come in and he hated the me attitude. And that generation, right? That 1980s generation was me, all about I.
Trip, imagine Billy. Tell me, Billy, the truth. Imagine Billy in this day and age with 100+ offers. Right, Billy? You had 100+ offers coming out of Liverpool. You imagine that conversation with Dick McPherson or with Frank Maloney, with any head coach. Imagine the conversation difference from the substance we all were raised with to what? Well, we could get you a car. We're working with a great dealership. We can get you a suit and tie company. We can get you a couple commercials. We can get you a few million to start with. Oh, that is a whole nother approach to survival, man. That is a whole nother approach. And what about the Blaze winner that comes in after Billy leaves? Hey, buddy, we don't really have much room for a guy like you. You'll have to take 0. And what? Oh, that's fine with me. I'll take 0. Well, we don't really have a place. We need this or that. Oh, man, the world's different, huh, Billy?
Blaze made a great point in the beginning about when we were young, and I remember we were so naive coming out of high school. I mean, I remember going to throw the shot in Texas, Michael Carter, and I told the story on the air before, and he said, go talk to my recruiter. He's going to pay me 35, 40 grand a year. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't even understand what that even means, and
that's true.
But this day and age with these kids now, the way society is bringing these kids up, it's a totally different outlook. It's a totally different outlook on you coming out of high school. If you're a blue chipper now, listen, if you're a blue chip, that top 100 coming out of high school today, you can retire after college. There's no doubt about it.
Yep.
You can make $7 to $10 million after your senior year in college, and you can retire.
Yeah, you don't even have to work in your life. That's something's messed up about that, man. Something.
Screw the NFL.
Don't get me wrong. I'm a believer in NIL and getting money, just like Saban was. But Saban got out because of all. Let's face it, he got out because of all the NIL and all the crap going on. Let's face it.
Well, there's a better way, right? I mean, right now we're not addressing. Is there a better way? There is a better way. I mean, there's a way of getting money in the hands of an athlete if they shape themselves into the person needed to demonstrate all the good qualities of success.
Yes.
Yes. Money at the end of 4 or 5 years waiting for you. But the impatience of our society says, I need it now, man. I need it right now. That is a shame because the best of us as players came, right, Billy, in our 4th year, not our 1st year.
All right, let me end with this. I had Mark Gottfried on my show, Coach Mark Gottfried. He coached the national championship in 1995 UCLA, the first one since '75, and he had Ed O'Bannon, and he tells a story about Ed O'Bannon on that show. Ed O'Bannon was the first one to start all this, okay? And it was because they were using his image in a video game. You have earned the right to be on a video game. That's what money is supposed to go to. The players, the starters, the ones that are contributing, the ones you see on television, the ones the little kids wear in their jerseys. Okay, that's what it was supposed to go to. The guys that have earned their way, that have paid their dues, that have gone through the sacrifices that we all went through, and then you get compensated. That's what it was intended for. It's all gone to hell with the intentions of it. We need to fix it. They're trying to fix it. It's not going to come quickly, but they just let the cat out of the bag way too early.
The last word I'll have is somebody has to have the nuts, the balls, the wherewithal to propose and with the heart of determination, propose and pursue a better outcome It's just like social media. If we don't do something to propose and pursue a better outcome, we will lose daily to suicide, to murders, to selfishness, to I don't give a shit. And it will become a very selfish world in the midst of all this chaos. It ain't my problem, man. Yes, it is your problem, right?
Yep.
Four-wheel drive, it is your problem. You are your brother's keeper. You aren't going to wait for me to celebrate when you what? Sack a quarterback. And all three other guys would have what? Approached Billy. We would high five over that quarterback's Doug Flutie's dead body, and we would celebrate together the accomplishment of one guy. And that one guy knew without a benefit of the doubt it was the other three that made it happen.
Yep, absolutely. Good stuff, guys. Great stuff. Good subject. We want to fix it. You know, it's not just, you know, we're not just bitching about the problem and criticizing it. We want stuff due. We, you know, suggestions from other people. We want the problem solved, and that's what everybody wants and needs. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys. Have a great week.
Love you guys. See you later.
Love you guys. See you, man. Wow. Another great show. Four-wheel drive. Hope you enjoyed it. Share. Give me your comments. And, hey, let me know where you're listening from. I don't care if it's Jamesville, DeWitt, if it's Alaska, if it's Mesa, California. I don't care. Wherever you're living, I want to hear from you. Drop me a line. Thanks for watching the show. Stay tuned for these great sponsors. Without this wouldn't be possible. So long, everybody.
When it comes to buying your next car, truck, or SUV, you need a team that puts you first. Here at the Sandy Sansing dealerships, we're proud to serve Pensacola and the Gulf Coast with the best selection, trusted service, and deals that work for your family. Just like great coaches build great teams, Sandy Sansing builds lasting relationships with every customer who walks through our doors. Because when it comes to finding your next vehicle, there's only one name to remember. Sandy Sansing can.
That's you trying to fix the plumbing yourself to save a few bucks. Doing things yourself doesn't always end well. The same goes for insurance. That's why Auto Owners works with local independent agents who tailor coverage to meet your needs and offer discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance. Because sometimes you need a professional to get the job done right. That's simple human sense.
My name is Steve Reynolds. I'm the manager and owner of Cordova Lanes, and we help keep your mind out of the gutter. Cordova Lanes is part of the community of Pensacola. Being here for 43 years, we've entertained more people than any other bowling center in the city. We sell fun for a living. Cordova Lanes is located at 2111 Airport Boulevard in Pensacola, behind Cordova Mall. Come on out and see us at Cordova Lanes Bowling Center. Thank you.
For 30 years, you have seen the orange Beck signs all over the Gulf Coast listing a property for sale or lease. Beck Partners is your trusted advisor in commercial real estate, property management, commercial and personal insurance. Senior Vice President David Valletto has been with Beck Partners since 1989. Take advantage of his wealth of knowledge by calling him today at 982-7352. 982-7352. Extensive experience in all aspects of leasing, sales, management, and site selection will make sure your expectations are exceeded.
75 years of service and high tech today. It's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348. High tech is a term often applied to advanced services and products in today's marketplace. And today, glass is much more than a simple pane of brittle, see-through stuff we hit baseballs through when we were kids. Glass is now a product with unique flexibility in both performance and application. And Pensacola Glass Company is growing right along. That's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348.
Are you riding around in a filthy vehicle? Dirty car no more. Visit Ronnie's Car Wash today to get it shining in no time. They have 3 convenient locations with another coming soon. The unlimited monthly wash packages start as low as $14.95 per month with free vacuums, multi-purpose spray and towels. Visit them in Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, and soon Crestview. Don't wait, wash today. Be sure to see Ronnie's Car Wash on Facebook to see the latest specials and discounts. You'll be riding and shining in no time.
There's There's a reason why Hill Kelly in Pensacola is the #1 selling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealer between Jacksonville and New Orleans. While other dealers have taken advantage of a competitive market with higher prices, Hill Kelly has discounted prices to the lowest of the year. And Hill Kelly in Pensacola won't surprise you with excessive charges beyond the selling price. Come see why people from Milton, Pace, Foley, Bay Minette, Daphne, Gulf Shores, Mobile, and beyond are driving to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to buy their next new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram. At Hill Kelly, the bottom line price and your satisfaction are what really matter. So before you sign, check the bottom line and make the trip to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to see what true local ownership can do for you. At Hill Kelly Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Highway 29 in Car City, Pensacola. Or shop online 24/7 at hillkellydodge.com. When it comes to bottom line pricing, nobody beats a Hill Kelly deal. Nobody.